Hello, assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to discuss about a very fundamental thing, scalar quantities and vector quantity. Scalar quantity, the physical quantities which have only magnitude, no direction, is called a scalar quantity. Magnitude means size, value or number. So the physical quantities which need only magnitude or value or number to represent the quantity completely is called scalar quantity. On the other hand, vector quantity, the physical quantities which have both magnitude and direction. That means the physical quantity which required both magnitude and direction to represent completely is called vector quantity. So here distance is a scalar quantity. Distance is a scalar quantity. Speed is a scalar quantity. Why speed scalar quantity? Because speed equal to distance divided by time. Distance divided by time taken. So speed related to distance and time, both are scalar quantity. That's why speed is a scalar quantity. Unit of speed is meter per second. Time is a scalar quantity. Mass is a scalar quantity. Mass, because total quantity of matter present in an object, unit of mass is kg. So it is a scalar quantity. Temperature is scalar quantity. Here pressure, actually pressure is a vector quantity. Kinetic energy, all type energy, remember work, energy, power, all are scalar quantities. So work, energy, power, all are scalar quantity. Work, energy, power, all are. So kinetic energy, potential energy, gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy, all scalar quantity. So work done is scalar quantity, power is scalar quantity. Current, electric current means rate of flow of charge. So that means electric current equal to charge divided by time. So electric current is a scalar quantity. Potential difference or voltage V equal to energy transfer per unit charge. So it is related to energy and charge. So voltage equal to energy divided by charge. Energy and charge both are scalar quantity. That's why voltage or potential difference is a scalar quantity. Resistance is a scalar quantity. On the other hand, displacement is a vector quantity, because displacement, total path covered by an object in a particular direction, is called displacement. Velocity is the rate of change of displacement. So velocity depends on displacement and time. That's why velocity is a vector quantity. Acceleration, vector quantity. Force, all type force is a vector quantity. All type, remember, all type force vector quantity. Weight is a kind of force. Moment is a vector quantity, because moment is the so moment equal to force into perpendicular distance. So that's why a moment is a vector quantity. Momentum is a vector quantity. Momentum, because momentum is the mass into velocity. Remember, if a vector quantity multiplied with scalar quantity, remember the final quantity becomes vector. So momentum is a vector. Air resistance, drag force, friction, all type force is a vector quantity. So pressure is a vector quantity. Because pressure equals to force divided by area. Force is a vector quantity. So pressure by area. Force by area. Pressure is a vector quantity. Discuss about what is force. Force is an external cause by which a raised object comes in motion or a motion object comes in rest or changes its direction of motion or changes its shape and size is called force. So what is force? A force is a push or pull. Force is a push or pull. Force is a push or pull. So push or pull that causes an object move faster or slower or stop, change the direction of motion or changes shape and size is called force. So force is a push or pull that causes an object to move faster or slower or stop or change its direction of motion or change the shape and size is called force. Without force, nothing would ever move. So nothing would ever move without force. So according to the Newton's first law, without unbalanced force, rest object remains in rest position and a moving object moves with constant velocity. That means without application of force, a moving object moves with constant velocity or a rest object remains rest position. Now types of force. Now types of force. So there are different type of force. Like frictional force, gravitational force, air resistance, spring force, magnetic force, tension force, buoyant force. So first we have to learn about fundamental force. What is fundamental force? Fundamental force, there are four fundamental force. Fundamental means this is the basic force of the universe. Four fundamental force. Number one, gravitational force. What is the meaning of gravitational force? The mutual attraction force between any two objects in our universe due to their mass. Is called gravitational force. In the universe, every object attracts every other object due to their mass. So this mutual attraction force is called gravitational attraction force. Sir Isaac Newton gives a relation related to the gravitational force. The amount of gravitational force is directly proportional to the product of their mass. So mass of the first object is m1, mass of the second object is m2. And another thing is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So if the distance between two center of the object is d, then this force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So remember, gravitational force is produced due to their mass. Second thing, electromagnetic force. Electromagnetic force means the mutual attractive or repulsive force between electric charge and magnet. Electromagnetic force. So the mutual attractive and repulsive force between charged body and magnetic material, magnet, is called electromagnetic force. So second law, strong nuclear force. Third force, strong nuclear force. Inside the nucleus, there are two types of member. One is proton and neutron. The mutual attraction force between proton and neutron is called strong nuclear force. The force by which proton and neutrons are bonded together inside the nucleus is called strong nuclear force. The main reason of strong nuclear force is mass defect. Mass defect means actual mass or total mass of the proton and neutron is not similar the actual mass of the nucleus. That's why there is a mass defect. This mass defect converted into energy, binding energy. That binding energy is called strong nuclear force. Number 4, weak nuclear force. Weak nuclear force. Weak nuclear force. Weak nuclear force means when Newton number is more than proton number inside the nucleus, then a repulsive force is produced between among nucleons, and they becomes unstable. That force is known as weak nuclear force. So weak nuclear force is produced due to imbalance of proton and neutron inside the nucleus. So that weak nuclear force produces radioactivity phenomenon. So by this force, nucleus becomes unstable, and they radiate some special type radiation, alpha, beta, gamma, from the nucleus, unstable nucleus. Okay, there are other force. They are not fundamental force. So like weight. What is weight? What is weight? Weight actually one kind of gravity force. Say this one is the earth, and there is an object on the earth surface. This object mass is m. This object is attracted towards the center of the planet or satellite due to gravitational force. So the pulling gravitational force, attraction force towards the center of an object of a planet is called weight of the object. So weight equal to mass into small g gravitational field strength. We can calculate weight on a planet or satellite by using this formula. Mass unit is kg, and gravitational field strength unit is Newton per kg. So unit of weight is Newton. So another force, frictional force. Frictional force, when any solid object moves over on a surface, then surface will give a resistive force against the motion of the object. That force is known as frictional force. So frictional force, say this object tries to move over this surface. This one is the surface. So when this object moves right direction over this over the surface, then this surface tries to give a resistive force against the motion. That force is known as frictional force. Gravity force, especially gravity, one kind of gravitational force. Gravity, the mutual attraction force between Earth, like our planet or satellite, and other object near the surface of the planet towards the center of the planet is called gravity. So gravity. Now air resistance, when any solid object, any object moves through air medium, then molecules of the air tries to oppose the movement. That opposing force is known as air resistance. So air resistance. Then another force, magnetic force. The mutual attractive or repulsive force between magnetic poles or magnetic material is called magnetic force. Now buoyancy force or upthrust force. This force also known as upthrust. So when any solid object is submerged partially or completely inside a liquid or gas, then molecules of the liquid or gas give an upward force to the solid object. That force is known as buoyancy force or buoyant force or upthrust force. Another force is spring force or elastic force. Elastic force. The force by which a deforming object regains its original shape is called elastic force. In elastic material, there is a special property by which an object regain its original shape and size after removing the deforming force is called elastic force or spring force.